Hello guys and welcome to Showtime TV. My name is Wachera Gikonyo. I am a high school teacher, content creator, currently residing in Nyeri, Kenya. And if you haven't watched some of my shows about teaching, you can catch them at on my YouTube channel at Wachera Gikonyo. I've done a couple of shows narrating some of the books that have been done in high school. That includes The Doll's House and Blossoms of the Savannah. So for this show, this being our very first show, we are going to look at some of the stylistic devices that we have in that you normally have in some of the books that you read in high school. I should also be looking at grammar and every other topic you'd like to look me to look at in English and literature. So let's go straight to it. Today we are going to start with some of the stylistic devices that are found in Blossoms of the Savannah and also at Doll's House. So the ones that we chose today are the styles that include irony and sarcasm, because we normally have people having problems with differentiating the two. So I'll start by explaining what irony is. Irony, as written here, is I-R-O-N-Y, and this is a common stylistic device which you're going to find in your paper 2 when it comes to the excerpt. This year 2003, we're expecting that A Doll's House might be in paper 2 and Blossoms of the Savannah will be in paper 3. So either way, you do revision on both as a high school candidate for this year. So let me go straight to it. We have irony is simply the opposite of what you expect to happen. Like, for example, we are in the cold season now, and the fact that it is sunny, and you know the temperature keeps on changing. Sometimes it is really sunny throughout the day, so we expect that it's going to be rainy and too cold. So we can say that that's an example of irony. I can use it in a sentence and say that it is ironical that we have too much sunshine in July where we expect that it will be too cold. Now irony is divided into 3. In the exam, if we are asked to identify a case of irony, you can either identify dramatic irony, situation irony, or verbal irony. I'm going to explain what all of them mean. So we have dramatic irony is simply when a character in a book knows exactly what is happening, but the reader does not know what is happening. I'm going to give an example. For example, in Blossoms of the Savannah, we find that the girls, when they during their first time in Nasila, they tell their mother that they are going to take a stroll around Nasila so that they're able to identify with the environment. And the mother tells them that it is not good because she knew the status of her girls, that they were in Toyene Mengelana. That means that they were not circumcised. But the girls dismissed their mother's, worries, and they went round. So they were accosted by a man who claimed that they were in Toyene Mengelana, and women of their Kariba were not allowed to be staying in such a place. And we see that after that incident, the girls went home and did not tell their parents what happened. We as the readers know that the girls were attacked, but Mama Milanoi and Olekaelo did not know what happened. So that is a case of dramatic irony. We know what happened, but the characters in the book do not know what happened. There are so many instances of dramatic irony in Blossoms of the Savannah and also in A Doll's House. I can cite one in A Doll's House where we know that Nora took a loan from Krogstad, but all this time her husband Tova did not know. But we as the reader know that she had actually gone and she had taken a loan to help her husband when he was ailing, but Helma did not know what had happened. So those are 2 examples of dramatic irony. Now, I hope you have understood that one, and I hope it's going to help you in your exam this year in case it is brought. So we have the second type of irony is situation irony. This is just explained from how the word itself states situation irony, the opposite of what happens. A situation happens that we don't expect to happen. Like for example, in Blossoms of the Savannah, we find that we know that a parent, it's natural for a parent to love their own daughter. But now we see in a case of Olekaelo, he hates his own daughter. Ever since Resian was born, Olekaelo has always despised her for being a girl. That is a situation where we don't expect to happen. We expect that when a father or a mother has a father or a mother will give anything to their child or will love their children unconditionally. But we see in this case, we find that Olekaelo does not love his own child because she was born a girl. That is why we say that that is an example of a situation irony. In a doll's house, we can have an example of a situation irony where we have Nora, when she went to Helma to explain to him that, when Helma found out about Nora's secrets about her going to take a loan from Krogstad and helping him to get well, we find that instead of Helma appreciating the fact that Nora had gone out of her way to help him, he instead scolded her. He even told her that you're not worth to be my children's mother. So in that case, we can say that that could be a good example of a situation irony, because even in your case, if you find that somebody has gone out of their way to help you and then you find out that they have been hiding it, even if you find it out some time to come, you're going to appreciate. But in this case, we find that Helma was so angry because his main aim was to protect his own reputation, and he did not take note that Nora had been struggling to pay off the loan and had gone out of her way to help him get well. So that is a good example of situation irony. The other type of irony we have is verbal irony. This one might not be cited way too much, but I can give an example in real life situation. Verbal irony is simply what you say, but you don't really mean what you say. It's like a contrast of what you're saying. For example, I can say, if you're in the music festivals and it's all sunny and your mom has given you like 50 shillings and that is the only pocket money you had. So you decide to go and get some ice cream somewhere, and then as you're talking, it just drops. And then you'll be like, great, there goes my ice cream. I mean, that word great does not really mean that it is something good that has happened. It means that the word that you're using is contrary to what you feel or what you mean. Yeah, so for example, I could be somewhere and maybe you are going for a trip, a school trip, and then your teacher comes and tells you that today we have cancelled the trip. Then you're like, wonderful, I am not going to meet my friends today. Wonderful, I'm not going to present my presentation today. So wonderful and how you feel are two different things. So what you have said means the opposite of what you have said. So that is an example of verbal irony. Now those are the three types of irony. We have dramatic irony, where the character in the book knows but the reader does not know. It can even happen in movies where, for example, a person has been kidnapped in a movie but the person who is watching knows but the character does not know. That is an example of dramatic irony. We have situation irony, where a situation happens the opposite of what we expect. And then you have verbal irony, simply means exactly what you've said, but it contrasts with what you feel. The second stylistic device that I like to explain today is sarcasm. Sarcasm is S-A-C-A-R-S-M. Now here in Africa, we have, our mothers are very sarcastic. If you ever find somebody telling you that they're very sarcastic, well, an example of people who are sarcastic in our society is our African mothers. Now sarcasm is saying exactly the opposite of what you mean, but in a way of attacking you. Okay, now let me give an example. Your mom has gone to work and she has told you, when I come back, I want to find, the house not clean. I want to find the utensils filled in the sink. I want to find the baby hungry. But she doesn't really mean whatever she is saying. So she's being sarcastic. So she's saying that in an aim of you doing exactly the opposite of what she says. So sarcasm is saying the opposite of what you mean, in a way of probably attacking somebody or making that somebody do what you want them to do. Okay, so I'm going to give an example of sarcasm in Blossoms of the Savannah. Olosidori Lonkia brings the girls gifts, but then they come up with a plan to return the gifts back to Olosidori. That we have Tayo and Resian. So when they get their gifts, they know that Olosidori does not have good plans for them. So they come together and they're like, we are going to do this, we are going to wrap the gifts up, and we are going to, you know, give them back to Oloisudori. And so they wrap the gifts up, and then on top there they have written a note saying, with lots of love from Tayo and Resian. And then they give it back to Oloisudori. Now that note, we can say that it is sarcastic, because we know that the gifts that they gave back to Oloisudori were not from any love. They did not have any love while giving it back to Oloisudori. So that is an example of sarcasm. The fact that somebody would say that you know, they would do something the opposite of what they mean, or what they really want to do, with an aim of attacking, on an aim of making that person change their behavior. So that is it. We have sarcasm, we have doing exactly what you mean in a name of probably attacking somebody. Now most people will ask, what is the difference between verbal irony and sarcasm? Sarcasm, as I've said, is doing exactly the opposite of what you mean, in a way of attacking. So sarcasm is for attacking, but verbal irony is simply just saying the opposite of how you feel. So I get such kind of questions. So the verbal irony, I've said, is saying exactly what you feel, opposite of what you feel. But sarcasm, it's saying something to attack somebody, but you mean the opposite of what you're saying. So guys, that is it. We have looked at two stylistic devices today. We have looked at irony, we have also looked at sarcasm, and I hope this is going to help you in your exam. If you haven't watched my narration of the set books that are going to be there this year, we have Blossoms of the Savannah and Doll's House, which are going to be the compulsory books. Please make sure that you have watched on my YouTube channel at Wachera Gikonyo. Subscribe and watch the whole book narration of Doll's House and Blossoms of the Savannah. And also feel free to comment below on which other stylistic devices you'd want me to explain, and also the themes, anything you'd want me to explain in literature which is going to help you in this year's examination, and also any other topic that you're going to have in grammar. So the next episode we are going to have grammar, and we are going to choose a topic. We are going to choose the topic which might appear in the exam. So please make sure that you have watched this episode every Saturday from 9 a.m. And I hope that it is going to be of help to you as a candidate this year. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. All the best.